because Waagan owes us an explanation.
Thank you.
Waagan honestly owes us an explanation, because you know what? I know people that will pay their flight, book their tickets even 11 months, 12 months in advance just to attend to the Open Mic Festival. In fact, the Open Mic Festival has been one of those platforms that we use as an avenue to even change a lot of stuff socially in this country, politically, socially, and so on and so forth. We've been there when some of those stuff were happening. So I strongly believe that platforms like that, platforms like that cannot really just go like that. You know what I mean? So, and I have to say this, it has given us an opportunity that we don't really ask for, as the musicians of the Gambia, because again, it's our responsibility at some point to make sure that we provide the platforms and try to look for how best we can consolidate what musicians are doing in their different areas so that they can reach higher heights. It's our responsibility. And I feel they were doing that. That is complementing the efforts of the musicians of the Gambia, complementing the efforts of government, so on and so forth, because this is a private entity. Waagan, the Open Mic is one of those platforms that personally, it was the biggest platform that I've ever played. And let me quickly say it, because I play an instrument, it's a drum set. It's the first platform that I was able to get on. It's the biggest, I would say, that I was able to get on to play the drum for different musicians in this country. That, for me, it's historic for myself. It's something that I can never forget. And you provided that platform, in essence. So I wanted to ask, Open Mic Festival, are we able to have Open Mic Festival again in the Gambia, so that we can again serve the young people of this country? Because for me, it's not even young people, it's intergenerational, it's everyone else. Because to be honest, it's going to be a very huge lost opportunity for us not to have the Open Mic Festival. I know we have plans around this, but what is wrong with consolidating, working with partners to make sure that we make things happen? So, what?
Wait, the question is...
I understand the question.
Open mic, yeah.
I got it. I got it.
Yes. Now, to the question at hand. All right. Everything in life, I think we have to learn to accept that everything in life will someday come to an end, including our lives. And once we get to learn to accept that's just a reality of life. And I'm just one of those people, I don't like to dwell on the past. Once something is done and over with, I close the chapter and I learn to move on to other things in my life. I don't want to be defined, me personally, I don't want to be defined by whatever I managed to do, but that besides the point. I mean, we got to a point, we needed to grow. After doing something for over a decade, you need to grow. And that's just me. I like to grow in more ways than one. I read a lot, I make sure I do. I want to personally grow as a person, but also business-wise and whatever I'm involved in. If I feel I get to a point, it's stagnant, I just have to learn to go, find something else. We needed to grow, and we did attempt to make the growth, but I don't think the audience and the general public didn't appreciate the growth. And I don't think they owe us anything. No, they don't. But also keep in mind, just as the audience doesn't owe me anything, I in turn don't owe the audience my life. I owe you that 3 minutes of entertainment, which is a part of my life. I'll give you that. You give me your $2. Your $2 is not by force for you to give me, but also it's not by force for me to give you my 3 minutes. If you no longer want to buy my 3 minutes, cool. I'll take my 3 minutes elsewhere to see someone else who would appreciate my 3 minutes. We try to grow. It went to a point, we were also doing it for tourism. Before the end of the open mic, I'd spent maybe 6-7 years traveling practically around the world, I mean, trying to linked with different people, different festivals, going to Spain, Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa, Senegal, of course, Mali, Cameroon, Nigeria, Morocco to, what is it called, music, visa for music. I mean, all these different places, you know, just linking with different people. But every time we went there and we'd present the open mic to them, the question was, how can they benefit from that, you know? And so we gave it a lot of thought. We were like, okay, we have to figure out a way to expand. And from that expansion, we have to figure out a way to welcome others so those others can also welcome us to what they have. We tried to do that. The audience didn't appreciate it. And like I said, the audience doesn't owe us anything. I think the mistake we made, I still to this day stand in the idea of expansion. The mistake I think we did was that we didn't explain it to the audience prior. We should have taken some time to explain to the audience what we were trying to do. That was the mistake. But the idea of the expansion, I still, I'm deep inside, I'm satisfied that I did it, you know? So the audience didn't appreciate it. Right after that, COVID came, you know? COVID gave me the opportunity. I look at COVID as a blessing, I'll be honest to you, because it gave me the opportunity to be introspective. I got the chance to look inside. And I'd studied something totally different from music. I just did music through, I learned music through the streets, you know. But I'd gone to college to do something totally different. Now I'll get a little bit personal here. My dad is one of those African parents who to this day thinks my music career was the biggest disappointment of his life. Not my life, but of his life. He's like, you went to college and you came home to do music. You will never be anything, you will never prosper in life. You know, that was, you know, my dad had never watched me on TV. You know, my mom would tell him, and even his friends would be like, hey, well, your son don't be there, but, and he would, when people told him that, you could just see the expression on his face, you know? And I mean, I always wanted to build that relationship with him, you know, so I would sometimes just come and try to tell him, you know, about my music career, and he would be like, Bulma get it. I mean, he was like, don't even go there with me, you know? He's a member of the mosque committee, just so when COVID came and all of that, I decided, okay, I think this was the opportunity for me to build a relationship with my dad. He always wanted me in a, you know, to just be that African parent, you know, to be able to tell his children, oh, my son, he graduated college, he's doing this, he's doing that, you know? I mean, and after COVID, I'll be honest, the passion was just no longer there for me. You know, the drive was no longer there for me. By the time COVID had ended, I had personally, mentally moved on, you know. And I'll be honest, right now, the drive for music is no longer there for me. I'm just being honest here, you know. Yeah, I still listen to it. I entertain myself. Whenever I want to entertain myself, you know, I go watch, I listen to music. But to get up and do it, I don't know if I have that in me anymore. You know, I'm no longer a young man. And now, in hindsight, I'm glad I did it. Because hadn't I done it, I would have sat here right now, be regretting. But right now, I feel a sense of satisfaction. But I also feel I have something else that I personally want to do, that if I were to lay on my dying bed and I didn't do that, I wouldn't feel satisfied inside. So I hope that answers the question.